Right now at noon, businesses in Sun Prairie that are being affected by the explosion that happened on Tuesday are receiving an update from city officials. We'll have the very latest. Plus, the Attorney General has announced new indictments surrounding the Russian hacking during the 2016 election. And history is being made in England as the President and First Lady are having their first official visit with the Queen.
This is News 3 at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 on this Friday afternoon. We'll get to those stories in just a bit. But first, let's head over to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Chris Reese has a look at our first alert forecast. Another warm day out there.
Another warm day, Mark, and those dew points are coming way up, so it's going to feel a lot warmer as we go through the day. Today is an alert day for that heat and the humidity, along with the chance of showers and thunderstorms later on tonight. Right now, it's 84 degrees with those dew points right around 70. Yuck. If you step outside, you are going to feel it. The weight of the air will surround you. Upper 80s as we work our way to the south end west. Janesville 88 right now. Milwaukee also at 88. Same for Boscobel. So a lot of folks really starting to heat on up. Dew points well into the 70s. Here in Madison, we actually have one of the lower dew points compared to what some of our neighbors and friends are dealing with. Given that we already do have heat indices that are well into the 90s at this point, our heat index here in Madison at 88. As we go through the rest of the day, we're going to see our heat indices top out potentially in the upper 90s and 100s for some of us. Then we'll cool down into the afternoon rather quickly as showers and thunderstorms make their way into the picture. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to have your full forecast breakdown in a few minutes, Mark.
Welcome to Friday the 13th.
That's right.
All right, we'll see you in a few minutes, Chris. Top of the news today, officials with the city of Sun Prairie are listening to concerns from business owners. The owners in the 200 block of Main Street in Sun Prairie are worried that there'll be nowhere for customers to park because the street is still closed off to through traffic. This is after the explosion shook the city on Tuesday, calling for the closure of multiple roads in the downtown area. The business owners nearest to the explosion site still have not been able to get back into their buildings, and they don't have a timeline yet of when they'll be able to do so. The mayor of Sun Prairie gave his community a message of hope, saying one person saved more than 100 others. He says the city will overcome this tragedy. Community organizations will be holding a resource event for families who have been impacted by that explosion. The Sunshine Place and other local organizations, including Sun Prairie Lions Club and Knights of Columbus, will be holding an event from 2 to 8 o'clock for families who are still displaced. The event will be held in the Sun Prairie High School cafeteria on Grove Street. More than 2,800 people have committed money over the last day or so to help the Barr family. They raised over $159,000 now to help his wife and twin 3-year-old daughters with their expenses on a GoFundMe page. Over on channel3000.com, we have a link to this page and a page for Ryan Welch, another firefighter who was injured in the explosion. We'll also have other GoFundMe sites set up to help Sun Prairie residents dealing with extra costs related to the explosion. And there's an opportunity to show your support for Captain Barr and firefighters all across Wisconsin. A public memorial visitation for Barr will be held at the Sun Prairie High School tomorrow from 8 to 10. The funeral service for Barr will begin at 11. There's a private visitation for his family and close friends tonight. And flags across Wisconsin will be lowered to half-staff to honor Captain Corey Barr. Governor Walker says his memory and the legacy of selflessness and service will live on through his family and his crew. Sun Prairie police are getting handmade cards from the community after that explosion. The police department wrote on Facebook, sometimes it's the smallest gestures that make all the difference. Officials said they have received many cards like the one Sophia made, which she gave to first responders. They said the cards have reminded them of how lucky they are to have an overwhelming love and support of the community. In other news, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein says 12 Russian military officers have been indicted for hacking during the 2016 election. The indictments are part of the ongoing special counsel probes into potential coordination between the Trump campaign and Russia. The Russians are accused of hacking into the computer networks of the Democratic National Committee and the presidential campaign of Hillary Clinton. Before the newest indictments, 20 people and 3 companies have been charged in the Mueller investigation. President Trump is meeting with Queen Elizabeth at Windsor Castle. The president and first lady arrived for a short tea with the Queen. The Queen Elizabeth has met nearly every president during her more than 6-decade reign. Next week, Trump heads to Finland to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Former FBI lawyer Lisa Page and FBI agent Peter Strzok are getting to tell their stories to Congress. The two were once embroiled in an extramarital affair and exchanged thousands of text messages criticizing then presidential candidate Donald Trump during the 2016 election. Those messages became public because the two worked on special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation of the Russian interference in the election. They have since become the face of possible bias in the probe. In one text message, he assured Page that, quote, "We'll stop Trump."
You need to understand that that was written late at night, off the cuff, and it was in response to a series of events that included then-candidate Trump insulting the immigrant family of a fallen war hero.
Strzok could still face disciplinary charges with the FBI over the text message exchanges with Page. An investigation is underway in Fitchburg after a man was shot multiple times last night. Police say it happened just before 10 o'clock near Leopold Elementary School and the Springs Park in the 2500 block of Post Road. When officers arrived at the scene, they found a 29-year-old man with multiple gunshot wounds. He was taken to the hospital with injuries that are not believed to be life-threatening. A white SUV was seen leaving the area, but there is no other information about the suspect. And 10 minutes after that shooting, Fitchburg police responded to the 3300 block of Leopold Way for reports of shots being fired. Police say an apartment building there had been shot multiple times. No one was injured. Police say a man in all black clothing was seen running from the area. Police do not know if the two incidents are related, but they said that they do not believe the acts were random. There's more to come on News 3 at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
This time of year, zucchini is here, there, it's practically everywhere. And today, it's the star of our side dish that's perfect for this time of year. Just wait until you see what it is. Ah, zucchini. It may seem just like any other vegetable, but there's so much more to it. First of all, zucchini is probably the easiest vegetable for us to grow in our gardens. Now, for those of us who grow them, we know that before long, we'll be inundated with them, and we'll find ourselves sharing them with our neighbors and bringing them to the office. And with them being so abundant, it's a darn good thing that they're so good for us. You know, 1 cup of zucchini has only 25 calories and is packed with more potassium than this banana. So let me share a way to turn these into a mouth-watering side dish. We start by sauteing some cut-up tomatoes in a bit of olive oil, along with a touch of minced garlic, fresh chopped parsley, and lots of spices. Once it cooks down, we stir in some zucchini that we've chunked up. And when it's tender, it's ready to serve as a healthy as can be side dish. No matter how you serve it, we know you'll be scraping the bowl so you don't miss a drop. To get the recipe for our all-star zucchini, all you have to do is go online before all that zucchini takes over your house. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a fresh from the garden way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, Howard, thank you. Coming up on News 3 at noon, the fabulous Farm Babe is back, and she'll have the latest ag news for us, plus another hot and humid day. Meteorologist Chris Reese will have your weekend forecast when News 3 at noon continues. Our call for action phone bank is open right now, ready to take on your consumer issues. The number 608-270-2833. JP Morgan beats expectations, and it's the last store standing for an iconic movie rental chain. Laura Podesta has more in today's Money Watch reports.
JP Morgan Chase beat out earnings expectations today, reporting $8.3 billion in profits for the second quarter. That's an 18% increase from a year ago. The giant bank attributes the boost to recent tax cuts. More than 130,000 U.S. veterans are owed big tax refunds. A computer glitch within the Department of Defense has caused disability severance payments to be subject to income tax when they should be tax-free. That glitch lasted 25 years between 1991 and 2016. Fiat factory workers in Italy are calling for a strike after news that Juventus Football Club signed soccer star Cristiano Ronaldo. a deal that cost over $100 million. The Agnelli family, owners of Juventus, also control a portion of Fiat Chrysler. Workers feel the huge amount of cash should have been invested in Fiat instead. And after Sunday night, there will be just one Blockbuster video store left in the U.S. The last two Blockbuster stores in Alaska are closing. Blockbuster has basically shut down in most of the U.S., but hung on in Alaska, where the internet is so expensive, people still rented videos. The last store standing is in Bend, Oregon, where the general manager says there are no signs it will close anytime soon. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. In New York, I'm Laura Podesta.
Laura, thank you. Let's check Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow Industrials up 87 points. The NASDAQ up a little over 6. Look who is back on a Friday. Why don't you just take the whole week off?
I know. I'm so glad to be home, but I'm telling you, there's nothing exciting about standing and sweating to death in the middle of a farm field choking on dust. And that's what I've been doing the past couple of days. It was Wisconsin Farm Technology Days up in Marshfield. Great show. Wonderful people. I had a great time. But, man, these elements work against flabby farm babe trucking it across Tent City. But what a great time. And like I said, they did have a fantastic turnout. Just got the official numbers from the Farm Technology Days group. They said more than 42,000 that came through the gate over the course of 3 days' time. So thanks again. Now, next year, it's going to be right in our backyard. Jefferson County will host the 2019 Farm Technology Days. So talking a little bit about what's happening with our markets, it continues to be the looming story on tariffs. Soybeans have been really the commodity that's been offered up and suffering some of the biggest losses in regards to all commodities. But also our U.S. pork industry is finding difficult sledding getting product into Mexico. I thought it was interesting. About 50% of the U.S. hams that are produced here in the United States end up in Mexico. And that's one of those products where they are logistically unable to handle frozen product from anywhere else. So despite tariffs, they may still be taking U.S. pork in the form of hams into the United States. Wisconsin farmers have decided that they want to focus in on conservation and maybe some alternative markets. Wisconsin Ag Statistical Service says this year our oat acreage is up 54% compared to last year. Spring wheat up 29% compared to last year. Grain trade-wise, you can't find a spot where things are looking very good. Our wheat market has been up just a little bit, but dairy continues to struggle. Barrel cheese, another penny stronger today at $1.42 1/4. 40-pound block cheese, though, down a half at $1.56. Double A butter today up a penny and a quarter at $2.22 1/2. And I talked to a dairy broker this morning. He said it's all short covering. It's not a long-term trend. He said a lot of the orders are being filled for other regions outside the upper Midwest. When they get their orders filled, they take off their vapor. And he said that's not a healthy market. He'd like to see them more consistent. We'll wait and see what happens with all this tariff business. It's kind of like the weather. Something's always changing, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Well, it's good to have you back.
Glad to be home.
We'll see you Monday, right?
You bet.
Okay. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Chris is here now. Ever-changing is the word for today, I guess.
She hit it nail on the head. Ever-changing. Already we have some changes in here now, fresh from the Storm Prediction Center. All day we've been under a marginal risk for severe thunderstorms this afternoon. Well, that's been upgraded to a slight risk. That's a level 2 out of the 5 different levels of severe thunderstorm coverage that you can have. So that includes us here in Madison. We can zoom out a little bit, and that's really just almost all of south central Wisconsin, back to the west, extreme southeastern Minnesota, and northeastern portions of Iowa back towards Waterloo. Now, we've been watching the radar pretty much all day. We've had some showers and thunderstorms, and as the sun came up this morning, they kind of lost their oomph because a lot of that energy and instability needed to fuel thunderstorms has kind of been out of here. But now as we get you into the afternoon, we're going to see these showers and thunderstorms begin to start their process of redeveloping. We can see this already slightly on satellite. Here's visible cloud track. You see how you have the heavier regions of cloud cover, and now you have these areas where the cloud cover is pretty splotchy. This is what you want to look for in terms of feeding instability for thunderstorms. That sunshine on that hot, humid air allows what's known as convection, but essentially these clouds begin to rise up and produce some thunderstorms. So we're seeing the sunshine and some of these clouds trying to develop into some thunderstorms already. It'll take some time. The temperature 84 degrees, those dew points At 70, so it is very humid out there. And then elsewhere, we have temperatures that are into the upper 80s, 88 in Janesville right now, Boscobel at 89. So we're really going to see those temperatures taking off. You factor in these dew points and you see why things have just been so hot and so humid today. In fact, we're going to continue to watch these heat indices make it into the upper 90s and low 100s, but then watch what happens as we get you later on into the day. And here in Madison, the dew point, the heat index 96. Then you have a heat index of 73 just back to the north and west. So that's the cold front getting started. As we get you towards dinner time, we'll watch this line of showers and thunderstorms develop and begin to race its way to the south and east, bringing clusters of showers and storms along with the lightning and the thunder. That's where we have the risk for some of those to be strong to severe, damaging winds, a little bit of hail, and really just the heavy rain potential is the main threat. And of course, with dew points really high, you could see a lot more lightning. So these will likely be some pretty noisy storms as they come on through. This shows you just the potential of a lot of water to be placed down on the ground when a lot of this comes through. Some of us could see an inch or so of rain. Location will be the name of the game, and then eventually we will begin to cool things down, but it's going to take us getting into next week before we can do so. Those chances for showers and thunderstorms will linger throughout the weekend. By Monday morning, that's when we'll begin to get these shower and thunderstorm chances out of here. Now, the whole weekend will not be a washout. If you have plans, don't cancel them, but be aware of the weather as you're out. Next Tuesday and Wednesday do look absolutely fantastic. We're going to see sunshine, low humidity, and temperatures struggling out of the 70s on those 2 days.
It'd be nice.
I know. Honestly, I'm really excited about the chance for some storms.
Yeah.
Being a weather person, you want to take a look at that. I know most of you all don't care, but we'll keep track of the weather this afternoon, and we'll make sure we'll be on social media, keeping everyone up to date on what happens.
We certainly need the rain.
Yes, we do.
All right, we'll keep an eye on things for us. Thank you, Chris.
Anytime.
There's more to come on News 3 at noon. Up next, we'll tell you how a new type of World Cup could be coming to the gaming world. That's next.
News 3.
Well, if you can believe it, the World Cup is coming to a close this weekend, and we'll have to wait 4 more years for the next one, unless you're an avid video gamer. In that case, you only have to wait a year. Omar Jimenez gives us insight into the first of its kind World Cup coming to the global stage.
Think World Cup, you think this. Not necessarily this.
Feeling a little risky.
But soon, you might be. Specifically for Fortnite, a video game where 100 gamers are dropped on an island and fight to be the last player standing.
Oh, man.
Well, the game exploded, growing to over 125 million players in a matter of months, the company says, and now a full-blown competition on the horizon that they're calling a World Cup.
For a free game? Like, that's insane.
Jeremy Vasutsuri and his friend Tommy Wen hope to qualify for the big competition.
Not everyone is, I guess, as good as us, so some people just want to go to the gym. But this is our gym.
So they train 3 to 4 hours a day, and this is their workout.
No pressure, no pressure. I think he hit me with the Magnum. Dang it.
I don't think I've ever seen anything at this scale before.
Benjamin Lupo, otherwise known as Dr. Lupo, has over 3 million followers online.
Been in worse situations.
Just for playing the game and streaming it live. Sometimes it even crosses over with celebrities. One streamer played with the rapper Drake.
Did they loot the house?
Generating over 600,000 live viewers.
Everybody started looking at it a little differently when that happened because suddenly it's penetrated into pop culture in a way nobody thought was possible.
$100 million worth of prize money is set to be split among events at different levels of competition across the world.
I enjoy playing it with my friends, but I also do love winning.
The actual Fortnite World Cup play isn't set to start until next year, but its influence could stretch further beyond. Dr. Lupo helped award scholarships to the younger generation of gamers and sees playing at this scale as an opportunity.
Gaming is more than just sitting in your basement, with a controller in your hand. There are people out here trying to do things with it, trying to change lives.
And when it comes to a World Cup, it's an example that for many will be a different type of beautiful game. I'm Omar Jimenez reporting.
So there you have it.
I know, kind of funny. I actually have a friend who supports his whole wife by playing video games. His wife, his kids, the whole family. I know, and here I am. They're playing video games and making a whole lot more than I am.
You got fancier computers, though.
I do want to remind you guys, today is an alert day for that heat and the humidity. If you step outside, prepare to sizzle. And then, of course, we have been upgraded to a slight risk for showers and thunderstorms tonight.
All right, keep an eye on things. We'll keep you updated here, and we'll see you back here at 4 o'clock. Have a great afternoon.